Well, good morning, everybody. This is dear Mama Sal on a chilly-ish morning. It's 4 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which would make it about 39, I think, in American. Check that. 38. And I just made a decision not to wear my coat for some reason, my raincoat, and I'm just looking. Maybe it was an okay decision. What the heck? I didn't bring my raincoat. But I've got my umbrella thanks to Carly. This is my Monday morning weekend wrap-up. And I just wanted to say that I had a really packed weekend. It was really, really busy. We did a number of things. We did a couple of broadcasts on Friday, obviously, and that was great. And then, oops. And then we, on Saturday, I went to have lunch with a friend of mine that I see probably 2 or 3 times a year. And, you know, it just reminded me of the value of long-term friendships. And they're not necessarily people that you need to see every day or contact every day, but they are people that have been in your life for a long time. And I've said it before, a wonderful quote from another friend of mine, which is, you know, friends come into your life for a reason, a season, or for a lifetime. And some of them come into our lives to be a messenger, to bring us a message, I believe. Some of us are just there for that period of our life where we need that particular support. And that can be a short period of a month to a short period of 5 years. And then there are others that seem to be there, as they say, come hell or high water. And this particular friend that I met, he was one of the first people I met when I came to Canada. And it was really, really interesting to just sit with him quietly and catch up. We're both now in our 60s, you know. We met when we were in our 30s or whatever, you know. It was just like, it seems a long time. I guess it is. But it always feels good, you know. Whenever we sit down, it's like we met yesterday. You know, we last had lunch yesterday, or we last went to a function or whatever. And it really is very, very interesting. Now, obviously, it is very difficult for somebody to understand what on earth I'm up to these days. I mean, he's heard me talk about doing Dear Mama Sal before, but now this is getting to be more and more part of my life. It's like, you know, I think he's quite surprised I'm still doing it, quite honestly. So that was very interesting. Anyway, so I watched a great program over the weekend about the island where the people forgot to die. That's what I think the title was. And it's a little island in Greece that really is quite inhospitable in terms of the fact it's a very craggy, rocky, you know, sort of place, and it's not a place easy to get to, and the winds there are really quite strong. But it's they found out that people live longer there, and there are certain areas in the world where people live longer. You know, little enclaves, if you like, where people are living longer than the average. So the question is, of course, why? Why do these people live longer? And so you've got people out there at the moment who are going to these areas and really interviewing as many people as they can. And, you know, they were talking to a couple, and it really warmed my heart because the couple that they were talking to were getting up in the morning and they had jobs to do. The one guy who was already 100 was busy, you know, he still tended his goat herd every day and, you know, climbed up a rocky staircase that looked really, I'd be scared to walk up it, never mind at 100. But you know, what they discovered, oh, and by the way, most of their food was plant food. In other words, most of the food that they ate had to do with what they grew. And of course, their diet very much revolved around the seasons of what was possible to grow at that season. And meat, of course, was something that you had on special occasions, not something you have every day. So, it was a really fascinating look at really a very happy group of people. And I think the lady that really struck me, there was a woman there who was well into her hundreds. Oh, the river's high today. Anyway, she was well into her hundreds, and she still was running her own business. She was a weaver, and she was weaving placemats and things like that. And at 100, running her own entrepreneurial business. How cool is that? And, you know, imagine the upper body exercise that she gets every day by being a weaver. If you've ever done any weaving, you will know that takes a lot of coordination and a lot of hand movement and also a lot of brain function. They say that the amount of Alzheimer's on this island is very insignificant. I believe there is some, but very insignificant. And also, they were saying that at least 2 people had contracted cancer and done nothing about it. And I can't remember how they'd contracted cancer, or when I say how, but whether they'd been off the island when they contracted it or whatever. But at least one came home to die on his home island, and, you know, didn't take any radiation, didn't take anything else. He just went home, and that was 32 years ago. And there was something about eating the diet that they do and doing the work that he does. He never got sick anymore. The cancer went into remission, and he's fine. So I think what I'm looking at here in this thing is it's a conversation I had with Benji this weekend. I don't get to talk to Benji every week, but he and I had quite a conversation this weekend, and it was wonderful. And of course, my great excitement is that we confirmed that I will be going to VidCon with them. So that is so, you know, I'm so excited about that. And we are going to I think absolutely have a blast. I hope so. I'm really, really, really looking forward to it. So but the conversation that he and I had was about what doing Dear Mama Sal brings me. And it was really funny because he asked me at one point, and I thought it was really cute. He said, "Hey Sal, if you weren't doing Dear Mama Sal, what would you be doing with your evenings?" Because he said, "I know you work all day and you come home and you start Dear Mama Sal. So what I want to know is, what would you be doing with your evenings if you hadn't started Dear Mama Sal?" and I said to him, "Watching television." You know, I hate to admit this, but I don't think my house would be a whole lot tidier necessarily. I mean, I can BS myself and think that it would be, but I'm not sure that it would. And it's funny how I make time for Dear Mama Sal, whatever's going on. I mean, last night, or yesterday, I got up in the morning, and I can't remember what I was doing, but it was Dear Mama Sal related. I think I was catching up on the emails and things that I hadn't had a chance to answer in the comments. And then I made brunch, and of course I videoed that for Dear Mama Sal, because I knew that Jerry wanted a bit of a video on how this halogen of mine works. And then I did a bit of cleanup. I think I started the wash or something, and then I did the broadcast. Well, after the broadcast, before the broadcast, I got everything into the slow cooker to cook ready for dinner. And by the way, that was really good. And it was so good we didn't get to take a picture of it because everybody consumed it at such a rate. It was really quite funny. We were all halfway through our bowls before I said, "Oh, I forgot to vlog this." Oh well, you get the idea. So then after the broadcast, we had dinner and we chatted for a while after dinner. And then after we'd done the basic clean up from dinner, I recorded a couple of makeup moments that I've been meaning to do. You know, about a couple of things that I really have been enjoying makeup-wise. And so I did those, and then I went and started to upload. And I didn't get to bed until after 1. Well, I started to edit and upload. I think I edited and uploaded two things. One makeup minute to Facebook, and then a video to YouTube. So this was the point that Benji and I were talking about. And it's really worth considering, which is, how much brain power am I using every day to do that work? When I say brain power, I am being creative, I'm being dexterous, using my hands to do things. I am definitely using my brain in doing the editing, and then I'm using my patience to, get the uploading and so forth. And the point that Benji and I were discussing was, it really does take a lot of energy, of mental energy, to be a vlogger. I hadn't really thought about that. And I think the gift that Benji was giving me in that was to say, hey, you know, I'm going to keep you young just by being a vlogger. And, you know, and it was like, yeah, he's got a point. He's got a very good point. And so I am really quite happy to look at how does this go. And one of the things, this all wraps up into one story, because one of the things that my friend said was, boy, you know, you gotta know you're looking good at 67. And I said, I feel good and I'm happy. And again, it goes back to the people on the island. Why am I happy? I'm doing things at my own pace, even though I'm doing a lot. I'm doing them at my pace and because I choose to. I'm not letting the world ruin my day as much as I used to. I'm not saying it never happens, that would be wrong. But I really, something happened on the broadcast yesterday, or the day before, between a couple of things happened on the broadcast, and I just refuse to let that ruin my day. And it's like I could really spend a lot of time worrying about things that probably have no reason to worry about. Now, does that make me naive? I don't think so. I am well aware of what's going on. I just really don't want to give it a lot of credence, if you like. So I look at it and say, what makes me happy? Because a lot of people keep mentioning about that. What makes me happy every day is that I'm living a life that I enjoy. Is it perfectly healthy? No. Yeah, am I rich and famous? No. Am I making a difference in the world? I'd like to think so. And does that make me happy? Absolutely. Doesn't mean I gotta fix everybody. I believe it's my job to help people think. And I was really glad that at least one viewer was having a problem that was landlord related indirectly, and I was really pleased to hear that they, after having chatted a little bit, actually had a chat with the landlord. But I don't think that conversation necessarily was wasted at all. And so, you know, I look at it and go, I am very blessed all round. I'm very thankful for that. Look what a beautiful morning it is. It's now up to 5 degrees, which is a degree warmer than it was when I started. And that always makes me laugh because I'm higher up now. So that sun's burning through everything very quickly this morning. And so what I would ask you this weekend, or this week, is to look at what things or people in your life are making you miserable. And is there any way to change your association with those things or people? You know, all too often we sort of choose to hang around people that make us angry. Or we choose to hang around people that make us frustrated or whatever, when really we don't have to. We have to let go of our ego around needing to be attached to these people. well, they're my friends. Yeah, but if, you know, if there's friends that make you unhappy, um, who needs friends like that? So, it was an interesting day yesterday. It was an interesting weekend. And I must say that I am really, really grateful for everything. I'm hoping that you all have a wonderful week. I hope you all have a look at your lives and go, I'm going to have a good week this week, and the way I'm going to do it is just give myself a bit of distance away from the things that make me miserable. And, you know, if, let's say, for example, you're in financial trouble at the moment, and I'm sure some of you are, do you know that being in financial trouble doesn't have to define you? You can live a very rich life, even when you're in financial trouble. You've just got to get your mind away from the fact that being in financial trouble defines your life. And I have a friend of mine who has demonstrated that to me time and time again. And I am so grateful to that person, because until then, I did not realize how it was possible to live without beating up on yourself every day with something like that. So we'll look at some of those things in the coming days and weeks, hopefully. In the meantime, I'm wishing you a very, very fun day. Big hug. Thank you for being a viewer. I really appreciate that. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.